Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports, where we BS about sports. So let's get into it, boys. We had Astros winning the World Series 4-2 over the Phillies.
Yeah, man, that was a really good World Series. Despite it, I mean, 6 games isn't bad, but
Yeah,
and despite it kind of being the Astros locking it up there, but yeah, the game one was a great game, insane game. Game three had like the Phillies kind of explode and
5 home runs.
5 home runs. They're like, oh, they are they seeing something from it? Or is the pitcher tipping his pitches?
he
somehow?
claims no, but
Yep.
he must
Yep.
have been,
I don't know.
because there's that clip too where right after Harper hits his, he goes over and talks
To the dude.
Yeah,
Peepee has a good. He was talking to me about this earlier.
So I was watching on MLB Network, and they were breaking that down. Like, that dude just had no fuck. If he was going against lefties, it was 17% of the time he threw a fastball. The rest of the time, it was either a changeup, a curve, or a slider.
Off speed, right?
It was all off-speed pitches if he was left-handed. That's all in the whole year. Against right-handers, he was barely at over 23% on the fastball. So he just doesn't throw them this year. So I think what he went over, and he never established a fastball in that game.
So they're just laying back.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he went over to him and he was like, yo, like, he has no fastball. Like, just wait for the off-speed pitch because it's guaranteed to come, sort of thing, you know? I mean, but like, I don't think they needed a tip shit. I think he just had no juice, and he never established a fastball, and he didn't do it all year, so.
And that was the last time the Phillies knew how to score runs, because after that, it was all Astros. Yeah. Game 4 with the combined no. That was pretty cool. Combined no. Kind of wish they would just let the fucking starter try to complete his no. But
what inning did they pull him? Because wasn't he already pretty close to 90?
Yeah, he went 6.
Yeah,
innings.
90 pitches though in the 6th.
But man, just let the guy keep.
Yeah, I know, but you know why they did it.
At that point,
because if they needed him in the 7th game, if they went to game 7,
at that point you're up 5 runs. Just let the guy go. Okay, fine, whatever. It's a new.
I hate it too,
baseball.
but yeah,
it's a new era in baseball. I get it,
but if you need him in the 7th game, you don't want to overdo it.
All right. Anyway,
enough on the World Series, or you got more?
Yeah, I mean, then it was all Astros kind of after.
Yeah.
After that,
who cares?
Yeah, Phillies struck first in game 6, but
as we see time and time again in sports, cheaters always prosper.
So. Yeah. Congratulations. Right now you have no asterisks. In 3 years, will that still be true?
Will that still be true? Yeah. Next few years, is something going to come out about how the Astros cheated for this one? We'll see. Time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Can't wait for the 30-30. All right.
Next story we have Nets suspend Kyrie, Nike suspends the shoe deal, and Kyrie cancels Kyrie.
Yeah, well,
cancels his shoe that was about to release. So yeah, I mean,
dude, the guy, we talked about it last week, but
we dug
Kyrie continuing to do and say stupid shit and not learn from anything, and nobody sat down and talked to him after like the flat earther shit and all the anti-vax shit and was like, dude, look,
like the big thing was with this is you had 5 different opportunities to apologize, and you did not take any of those opportunities to apologize until the team suspended you, and then you're like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's because he's been doing the shit for a while.
Yeah,
because he has crazy ass ideas and nobody makes him be like, or not make, but nobody's like, dude, look, man, you're falling for some goofy ass shit here.
Yeah.
I just don't know how do you get through to these people?
You don't.
Yeah.
tough. Because
But, like, the
I
Nets
mean, they're so emboldened these days, because they can just get online and find, all those few people who actually agree with them and back them up now.
One of the scarier parts is that like people in his position are just feel so free, like open and free to be able to say these things. Like
Right, man.
you like
Did he not?
you would have been crucified for this shit like this
and
10,
this,
15 years ago.
and this is right on the heels of fucking Kanye getting his, deal with Adidas canceled.
Gap.
Right, like how fucking dumb
Gap
can you be?
for the same sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
wild,
guess like a
man.
week apart.
It's,
Like,
it's so fucking like it's lit, dude. You are literally watching shit that is espousing like Nazi propaganda or the same propaganda that the Nazis used.
Yeah.
To hit on like the same stuff they got. It all comes from the same fucking place.
Replacement theory and all that shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, why didn't anyone sit Kyrie down? Or maybe somebody did and he didn't listen, but maybe it'll finally get through. Don't they have like a list of stipulations he has to do?
yeah,
right?
so he has to apologize and condemn the movie. He has to donate $500,000 to an anti-hate causes. He has to have sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with ADL Jewish leaders, meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate his understanding of all of that he's learned, and then he'll be welcomed back.
I can't see any of it being that genuine from him.
No. And I mean, he did try to make a donation already to the ADL, I want to say.
And they gave it back.
And yeah, they wouldn't accept it. They're like, he's not sincere. I mean, he won't apologize and condemn the movie, so we don't find him to be sincere.
Yeah, he's just trying to buy his way out.
Yeah. So we're
when somebody has to be told that many times, like they're not just about to change overnight. Like that dude needs some time and really needs to be just educated. And taught. I don't even know. I don't know how to put it in words. Like how do you like this? This is racism and it's bad. Like that's perfect. Like the people that are espousing this shit are trying to also separate you from the Jewish community, pit you against each other. They hate both of you and they want to see you guys attack each other. I don't know. Anyways, I'm sorry. I can't even find the words. I can't even find the words.
It's just sad.
It's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. It's not even like I hate Kyrie.
No, he's just misinformed.
He's misinformed and wrong, and it's so fucking sad to see because and I mean, maybe if he is forced to go and speak with people from the ADL and Jews that had relatives that went through the Holocaust and like real high level fucking knowledgeable Jews that can answer questions
and show him like
cut down some of the bullshit that's in his head. Maybe, but
he's trying to fight.
But God, why should it take that much?
He is a guy that like he does do good in the community. Like Kyrie don't make a lot of donations. He helps out with a lot of the homeless, feeding homeless and all that sort of stuff. He does a lot of good. It's just like I said, I think he is misinformed on a lot of different subjects.
I just don't know how.
I think he is a person with a good heart. I just think that he is very easily manipulated into believing false information.
Yeah, I mean, conspiracy theories are fun, but
yeah,
come on.
Theories. I don't understand how Kyrie's teammates don't speak up to him. Like,
no, man. Or somebody just explained, like, you are kind of dude. What what your community has gone through in the persecution, like there's you guys are fighting the same fight a lot of times here, I know it's different background or like a different history and all that, but you have the same enemy.
White people.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm not wrong.
You have the same. You have a common enemy, and right now that enemy is actually pitting you against this person that you should be friends with, or you trying to combine efforts with for the better good of each of your, each of your communities.
So moving on to our next story, we had Bishop Sycamore Part 2.
Holy Lord! So
yeah,
this is some wild shit. So it just comes out with like initially with just some Twitter posts about a team getting beat 96-0 at half, and it's IMG Academy again, who you might remember being or beating up on the Bishop Sycamore fake high school team last year. So that game I think was like 52-6 at the end of it or something like that. Yeah. This game was 96-0 at half. They literally ended the game. They didn't let them finish. So the other
rightfully so.
The other team, West Toronto Prep, spent probably $20,000 in travel expenses, wasted a lot of people's time to go and play a half of football. So you've got while the game's going on, you've got Urinating Tree, who I think is part of Perna and
Clickbait Sports. Yeah, he does Clickbait Sports with Perna and Grassi.
And so he starts putting together a thread about West Toronto Prep and like just doing basic Google searches. And when he searched their address, it just came up as what is it, a skate park and an unrelated middle school.
Yeah, and like just a park area too, like a giant park area. Like I did it too. I went to their website and I looked and I Google Mapped it. They have a link, like they have their address there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing.
The phone number is for the athletic building at York University. So this is clearly another fake team, and it's coming out now like it's a bunch of like 24 to 28-year-old dudes that they paid to go and play this high level. These these are high school academies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the best.
Yeah, IMG's like the number 6 team in the country or something.
Yeah. So it's like the best high school players. So there's a massive dudes with obviously NFL level talent going forward.
They're D1 factories, basically.
Yeah.
They're just producing D1 prospects.
And they just proceed to go and shit.
Did you watch any of the highlights of the game?
Oh yeah, dude, the highlights were great. It was insane.
No, I did not see any of the highlights.
There's one point where Toronto Prep's quarterback, the ball gets hiked over his head and he starts to run back for it, and then he sees everyone coming out and he literally walks out of the way.
He sees one dude coming.
He literally walks to the side.
Coming in, he was just like, he Cam Newton the shit out of that, dude. He Cam Newton in the Super Bowl the shit out of
100%.
Even worse, man.
I think it was worse than Cam's, I think.
Oh yeah.
Those players took the fucking Jimmy Garoppolo option. Like, I'm getting paid either way.
Yeah.
I think there were 4 or 5 plays where the center like mis-snapped the ball, like snapped it over the dude's head, or like
there was like 3 or 4 blocked punts for touchdowns. I mean, it was ridiculous.
There's got to be some fucking.
It got boring watching some of the highlights at one point. Yeah.
Some really shady shit going on. Like that's 2 times IMG has played fake fucking teams. Like
teams.
I think they don't know
West Toronto Preps. Dude, if you just go to their website, I went to their website. It is like one page. It has nothing about really their academics at all. It only has stuff about their football team. If you looked at it, you would have thought this was just a high school for a football team. That was it. Like they didn't list any other sports, which they're talking when they describe themselves. They're talking about how they're like, a athletic prep school and all this stuff like that, right? Football is the only sport.
I'm on it right now.
Dude,
it literally says elite athletic experience, and then I scrolled down a little bit. It says sports. There's a picture of football. Then it says academic support, and it's got like a picture of a teacher helping a kid. And then it actually has some stuff written under it. But under sports, there's nothing but one picture of football.
Dude, it's all they got. Look at it. There's a link to like a thing to submit an application, which is very basic and has like questions that we would have thought of to put on. Like
they have a map of their school on here. You don't even have to Google search it.
No, I know. Click on it. Click on it. Tim, it's
I
not going to
can't.
take you to their school. It's
No,
gonna
no,
take you
no.
to that-
It's literally a park.
Yeah. Yeah. Look next to that park. There's a middle school and there's like a skate. I don't know if it's skate park
It's
I bet
just
that team. I bet that team is full of dudes
or
who
skate
play
rink. I
football
think
players in the movies.
Yeah.
like,
it's
and nothing's clickable on this website.
no, except for that
Literally.
application.
Get off
Nothing
there.
but
You're
that
gonna get a
application.
virus or
Oh,
some
and
shit.
then there's
Yeah.
the other things that are clickable are like their coaches or player roster, the roster list.
Chinese
That's it.
spyware. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Dude. So okay,
We have a
here's the
minute
point though.
left.
Here's the point with this shitty. We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
get to the
Sam,
point
we have
of
less than a minute.
okay. How do you not see this? How do you not like? How does nobody vet this? I spent a minute on the website and I knew it was fake.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I think it's just a bunch of dirty money changing hands.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, I
I'm
think-
gonna resend.
And honestly, I think IMG's at the end of it.
All right, let's move on to our next story. We have Snyder looking to sell the Commanders. FBI is doing an investigation on the team.
You know,
Does
when
that
I
mean he's
first-
going to leak his stuff too?
When I first heard that's a good question. I want to know what he has on Jerry Jones.
Me too.
Come on,
I
just
want to
tell
know
us.
so bad.
But when I first saw the news, I'm like, oh, Snyder's finally talking to a bank about selling the team. What's happening here? I was like, oh, it's finally sinking into him. And then later that day, it was like, oh, okay, the FBI is looking into them. So that
Yeah,
makes
the
sense.
FBI
now we know why.
They
He's,
have the investigation going on right now into the Commanders. So
he's like, oh, I am fucked. Okay, yeah, I'll look into selling. So I
Yeah,
can
if
pay
I'm not-
the fines.
if I'm not associated with the company, will I still get in trouble for things that happened while I was? Yeah,
Double jeopardy.
yeah. It's like, is that how it works? Yeah. I mean, if this dude would have just sold like a year or two ago, a lot of this would, we would have just been brushed aside. We would have forgotten about him. He could have lived out his days as a billionaire. But it's the hubris of the billionaire that like got him.
Don't forget this dude's a massive fucking troll too, and like he could just be selling off 3% of the team.
Yeah, he could, but I don't think if you actually want to maximize your value of what you're getting back, and he's a rich ass billionaire, like money is everything to him in the end, right? Maybe he could just be trolling us, but when it comes to like billions, I don't think so. But any share of the team that he sells while he still owns the majority share is not going to be nearly worth as much as if he sold those with him not being the majority share, right? Like 10% without Dan Snyder is worth a lot more than 10% with Dan Snyder still being there running that shit.
Absolutely agree.
I think I saw a thing where just their sponsors stocks rose because of that. Just like the team sponsors stocks rose a little because like once that dude announced he was selling that team.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you got Bezos and Jay-Z as a partnership.
Yeah, they're trying. I know Robert Griffin's trying to get like a group together, and he said he would pick 10 random fans on his Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And he said they don't have to put any money in or anything.
How fast
I want you to do it
together a fake Washington fans background.
Yeah.
Do we know anybody who sells a social security number?
It's not gonna be too hard. The Chiefs are, the colors aren't too different. We just got to kind of darken them up a little, right? The reds and the yellows in your pictures.
Be part owner of the Commanders. I will purposely run them into the ground. I don't have much work to do, but I will make sure they stay at the bottom.
There you go, man. You just do nothing really right now, and
I'll make money anyway. You lose money at the playoffs as an owner. Now we can fully dive in.
Well, we can talk. I mean, we're going to NFL, but let's just go over quickly some of the trade deadline stuff. Yeah, so we had a couple of trades, more than a couple.
Yeah, we had a slew of trades.
We had Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs. Claypool was traded from Pittsburgh. Rose Smith was traded. Hawkinson, Chubb, Wilson Jr., Hines, Jackson III, Calvin Ridley, Jacob Martin, Dean Marlowe, and Rashad Fenton traded away from the Chiefs.
Ooh, gone.
They gone.
But hey, man, what a wild trade weekend or week, right? Man? Like
a lot of movement.
He's the fuck out, Fenton.
This is
Fenton's
the new
gone.
I
Deadline. I
guess
mean, we can just
trade.
all share our favorite Fenton moment as a Chief. Mine is obviously his best play as a Chief, where he got called for a defensive holding, defensive pass interference, and gave up the catch at the 1.
Can mine be when we traded him away?
Was that against the Chargers or the Bills? That was against
Chargers.
the
Chargers.
Yeah,
because we. I think he was hurt.
I think for the Bills.
I think that was their first touchdown one. And that was God.
Because I got some midseason questions and predictions now that every team has played at least 8 games, which used to be halfway point, right? But we're at week 9, right?
Yeah,
it's halfway.
I like it as a halfway point still.
Okay, let's go. First question here: the biggest surprise, who everybody can say their biggest surprise team of the year in terms of being good, right? I think you have 3 obvious ones in the Jets, the Giants, and the Seahawks that nobody expected. Was there another team maybe, or which of those 3 was the biggest surprise to you?
The Seahawks have got to be the most surprising, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they would be my pick, but not on that list. I wouldn't say they're good, but I'd say the Falcons. I didn't expect them to be 4-5.
Right, and leading their division too.
Yeah, well,
not anymore.
Right, because
Bucks are now leading that division.
Yeah.
The division record.
But still, like the fact that they're
tied with the Bucks.
Right? That doing that well really surprised me.
With
it's
Marcus
tough for me
not quarterback. My God,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's tough for me not to say the Jets too, not to give them a shout out here because like we've seen them have talent before, but then they're actually maximizing it. They're overcoming adversity as losing Breece Hall.
Yeah,
so they are. Like Robert Saleh's got a great. Like he's got to be a great coach.
They played well with Joe Flacco under center early in the year.
It was shocking without Breece Hall.
Yeah,
like because everything had been Breece Hall up to this point.
Yeah, and I mean, right now we're seeing a hit on 2 first-round draft picks this year. Garrett Wilson has been awesome the last two weeks.
Right. Can I make a case for the Giants though?
Sauce Gardner. But here's my thing with the Giants.
I just don't believe in the Giants.
Think there's longevity to it.
Okay,
I don't
but
either.
they are definitely in a playoff spot right now, right?
I agree.
And they could they only need to win like with how bad the NFC is, they only need to win like 3 or 4 more games.
Yeah,
win like
the beneficiaries of a super soft schedule too.
Yeah. Okay. Look, all of that aside, they are on first year head coach. They're on a quarterback everybody gave up on. Running back, everybody was like, well, this guy's probably going to be hurt 3 years into the season if he's still even the same guy that he used to be.
Barkley's been amazing. I'll give you that.
So,
and Daniel Jones has played well within the system.
Right. So I mean, the Giants to me were pretty big because with the Jets, you're like, okay, well, Rob Saleh's coming back for his 2nd year, right? So 2nd year, you said, okay, you'll probably be a little better. Zach Wilson was trending upwards at the end of the year last year. He's coming into his 2nd year. He hasn't been great, but you know what? He's doing okay. They had a lot of talent. The Jets had a ton of talent, and you're like, if their talent can just play up to that level.
That's why I said we've seen them waste this amount of talent before.
I know, yes, but they have it, and they have a good coach. So I don't know. The Giants I expect them to just be dog shit. I mean, we expect all these teams to be, but I think for me, it might be the Giants.
All 3 of them are. It's a good debate. I like that question because all 3 of them have truly been surprising. I mean, I could even say the Commanders to an extent have surprised me.
Yeah. Although
they're 4-5.
It is surprising.
Yeah, I mean they're all way out of their depth. I mean,
yeah.
They're all floating right now.
Let's go to the flip side of this question and go to the biggest disappointments.
Green Bay.
There's going to be there's 5 big ones, I think.
Yeah, it's Green Bay
that all have kind of something similar here. So
Aaron Rodgers.
Green Bay's got to kind of be Green Bay, the Rams, the Bucks, the Raiders, the Broncos.
No one saw the Broncos being good, except for
The
every
fuck-
pundit on
The
TV.
fuck they didn't.
But
Yeah, everybody was yelling.
It was Broncos fans and pundits. It was nobody who actually lives in this reality.
I don't give a shit. Everybody was sitting there saying the Broncos are the Broncos are a quarterback away from the Super Bowl. That's what we heard over and over. Oh, now they got Russ. They're a Super Bowl contender right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we fucking heard. The big thing with these 5 teams, right? If there's one I'm missing, please let me know. But again, Packers, Rams, Bucks, Raiders, Broncos, right? Teams that everybody had high expectations for that are not living up to them. They all have veteran quarterbacks who are on a pretty large deal, all of whom, maybe Hall of Fame worthy. Not Carr, obviously not.
I'd say you could
on the fringe.
Throw the Cards on there too. If you,
I was gonna say throw the Cards on there on that list because
they don't tend to fall apart until the end of the year. So
they have a quarterback who just signed his first big contract, right?
Yeah.
And is in his third year. You could consider him a fourth. Yeah, you could consider him a veteran. So who's the biggest surprising terrible team, right? Or disappointment? The biggest surprise disappointment.
Packers.
And whose fault is it? Their veteran QB or their coach?
LaFleur and Rodgers.
This question isn't as fun as I thought it would be.
But I will also say
it's fun. It's fun to just say Packers over and over.
The Rams have to feel some.
The Rams are up. The Bucks too. The Bucks were literally a field goal away from making a Super Bowl.
But the Bucks can at least point to a slew of players leaving and retiring and stuff like that. I mean, the Rams.
We're supposed to have this amazing defense that hasn't really shown up this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're losing.
The Bucks didn't get to the championship game last year, did they? They lost in the.
Or they were one away from a championship game. Sorry,
because it was the Rams Niners.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why it's the Broncos, and it's not all the arguments are valid.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, just kidding. Let the man speak.
I know.
The Packers number one, there were questions about who Aaron Rodgers was going to be thrown to before the season started.
But who did he throw to in any season for the last 10 years?
Devontae. Yeah,
but I mean,
Devontae, but
before Lazard's the only dude left that he knows.
True.
And that dude's not a world beater. So there were questions there already.
Mercedes Lewis.
Tampa Bay,
85 years old.
It is 2022.
Tampa Bay was fraught with controversy way before the season started as well. The Broncos literally should not be in the position. They shouldn't be in the position that they're in. They should be a good team. That defense is insane.
I mean, their defense is
allowing
every game,
basically 16, 17 points a game.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're right. Everyone in the world said this, all they need is a quarterback. They've got the weapons.
Yeah.
Well, they went and spent their entire future on Russell Wilson. And here they are.
Nathaniel Hackett.
What is it? 3 and 4?
They are 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
And they're celebrating their best. It's a bye week, but last week their best win, right? Against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
We're celebrating a win against the Jaguars.
I mean, they're struggling to get 20 points in a game.
Oh yeah. And while their defense is usually not even allowing 20 points a game, right?
Yeah, and I think it was kind of split between Chargers and Broncos who is going to win our division this year.
For a lot of people, yeah.
For a lot of
And then some people were even taking the Raiders, right? I liked your Broncos take. That was good. I think it's probably the Packers, but the Broncos one is, okay. Then who's to blame for the disappointment? With the Broncos, who do you think is more Hackett? Do you think it's Russ?
I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it's a little.
I think Russ needs the right coach, and I don't think Hackett should be a coach. So
Hackett, they brought Hackett in because they thought they were getting Aaron Rodgers. It's the only reason he's there, and they're figuring out real quick that he is not ready to be a head coach. Not even close.
All right.
The fact that he still has a job is
out of all those teams that I named, which one's going to make the playoffs? Probably the Bucks, just because all they need to do is win that shit division.
Not the Packers.
Not okay. Probably not the Rams or the Broncos, or well, not the Raiders or the Broncos, but the Rams maybe have an outside chance.
That
We've
division
lost today against the Bucks.
That division typically picks up steam later in the year, I feel. And
That's
so
true.
that's when it's going to get interesting for them. I mean, I don't think the Rams make the playoffs. I think that the Bucks out of that group are the one that I think
the Bucks are the only one in that.
Based on that division that they're in, I could see maybe the Broncos sneaking into the last wild card slot.
What's the most surprising division between I mean, it's obviously the two East divisions, right?
NFC East to me.
I mean, yeah, I know obviously you're going to say the NFC East because people didn't expect them to be good. There's every team in the AFC East has a winning record right now.
Yeah.
Fucking team.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue the AFC West is very surprising.
I would say NFC West too.
For different reasons.
It's turned out.
Yeah, for completely different reasons.
Yeah, I mean the AFC West was supposed to be a murderer's row, like we were the preseason.
But the NFC East is perpetually supposed to be the laughing stock.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I think the
so,
NFC East is the number one in this, but I just wanted to throw.
I mean, the AFC East coming in, they had two playoff teams, a team that we all saw making huge leaps in the offseason with their acquisition of Tyreek Hill, a new head coach.
Right, the Dolphins. We expected the Bills.
We
and the
expected
Dolphins
3 out of the 4 teams in the AFC East to be competitive.
Did we really expect the Patriots to be that competitive?
A lot of people in the field thought they would be competitive. They're a Bill Belichick team coming off.
I would argue the same for the NFC East.
There was not that kind of hype about them in the offseason.
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, you had the Eagles made the playoffs, and it was a very uninspiring.
Yeah, and the Cowboys weren't as hyped as normal, and I think that's because they didn't get really any.
The Giants, I think everybody was in wait and see.
But they're 6-2 right now.
Like
so
for these teams' records to be where they are, that's a little shocking. But for the fact that these teams are good, I think really the only one that's really surprising to anyone is the Commanders.
The Giants.
The Giants.
I mean, you were just arguing earlier, P, that they weren't that surprising.
That's not what I said. I said I didn't think that they were going to hold on to being this good. Yeah, I didn't see it as real, is what I said. I didn't see it as something that lasts. I didn't say that they weren't surprising. I said all of them were surprising that Sam mentioned.
Okay, I thought because I felt like I heard a lot of the Giants getting a lot of play preseason, but
yeah, Bryant, it was kind of like a wait and see with the Giants, you know, like they had a new coach. You wanted to see how Quads would come back from his injury.
Right.
You wanted to see if Daniel Jones with a real coach would be competent on a football field.
But you also had no idea if this coach was a real coach.
Yeah, I mean, we
had
our suspicions that he was.
He's making Daniel Jones competent.
Yeah,
I'd argue you could throw the NFC West in there because you've got
higher hopes.
You got the Super Bowl winner from last year's sitting at 3 wins. The Cards are at 3 wins. The Niners are a 500 team, and Seahawks are leading that division.
Oh yeah, they're
with Geno Smith.
They're surprising for different reasons.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a flip flop.
Yeah.
Who everyone thought would be the worst team in that division is winning that division, and
I just still say the AFC West is the biggest surprise because it really was supposed to be the
it was
division of killers.
The Chiefs were going to be the worst team in in that.
Right.
Division.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked the Eagles before the season to be the last unbeaten team.
Oh no.
That surprised me. I wouldn't pick.
I mean, if I knew what I knew about those teams that they were playing in the preseason, then
maybe. Yeah. But I do think, yeah.
All right. And then, guys, I think we'll just do kind of the 2 big questions here to end it up. MVP, who's going to win MVP, or who's the favorite so far? And now that we're halfway through, who's our Super Bowl matchup?
Mahomes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he kind of is winning kind of is at the forefront of the MVP race, right? With
after
Josh Allen
after tonight.
And Josh Allen the last couple weeks has looked off.
Slipped a little.
He looked off for sure today. He looked a little off against the Packers too. So it's a very week to week league, of course, right? Next week he could like throw 5 touchdowns and 400 yards and he'd be right back in the front. But I think right now Mahomes is solidly.
There's an argument.
I think the only
as the Eagles go forward, there's going to be an argument for Jalen Hurts.
I was going to say that's the only competitor for Mahomes right now in my eyes is Jalen Hurts.
Not the only one,
other than Josh Allen.
Besides him,
who?
If Ty Hill goes over 2,000 yards, he's going to get the MVP.
No, Calvin Johnson didn't get the MVP when he broke the NFL record for most yardage in a season.
Yeah, I feel like
Randy Moss.
I feel like Ty Hill is going to shatter it. So I mean, at the moment, I don't see any reason to not give it to Patrick. But I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a dogfight all the way down the stretch between us and the Bills.
There are 3 to 4 candidates, but I do think after tonight's game,
Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, and Tyreek Hill, probably your 4 top dogs right now.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes over the next few weeks has a chance to put himself ahead solidly in the race. I think.
If he can,
we've got Jacksonville coming next week. So
if he can actually focus on the Jacksonville game, then and not overlook it. Hey,
no.
All right, and then Super Bowl matchup. Who you got? Chiefs Eagles. I know Chiefs Eagles. Chiefs Eagles.
Don't make me pick my team out loud. Like when I start saying my team,
I know
that's when bad things happen.
I think you're jinxing them. I mean, right now it could be, Bills had an off week, but it's one off week.
Yeah, Dolphins look good.
Bills.
It's not going to be an easy road.
The Dolphins defense is trash.
Okay, all right. Here. If it's not going to be us,
1 week with Chubb,
the Eagles,
and the Bills.
Dolphins. Vikings would be. Come on, Bills, Vikings.
Vikings will never make a Super Bowl in our lifetime.
The Vikings have made 4 Super Bowls, Tim, just like the Bills, and just like the Bills, they have lost all 4 of those Super Bowls.
They're not going to do it with Kirk Cousins.
I think the Bills are going to take
a giant trash.
Shit on the Vikings next
week. They're 7-1 somehow. I don't understand it. The one game they lost was in prime time. How many games in the fucking
to the best team in the league?
To the best team. Yeah, they lost to the Eagles. That's their one loss.
Honestly, but how many playoff games are going to be in prime time? Too many for Kirk Cousins.
Oh my God. Okay.
It seems maybe
I would like to
right
see
now, but
Vikings,
I still kind of like San Francisco. I really do.
Yeah,
I think CMC. I think that CMC signing is way bigger than it was first imagined.
Yeah, now they have a person who can throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, boys, let's move on to the games. Games of the week here.
Nutty games.
Eagles, Texans. Eagles winning that 29-17. Who do they lose to first, Pete?
It was exactly what
I were to take a team on their schedule that they would lose to, and it'd be because they just have a bad luck against this team at times, unless it's the playoffs. I'll say the Packers. Not because I believe in the Packers being a better team than the Eagles, but I believe that's kind of the range whenever you see a lull from a team and that's undefeated. They do have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
No, it could be the Colts fucking it all up for him.
No, the Eagles fuck over the Colts, not the other way around.
My thought is it's going to come real late in the season because they're going to be enough games up. And they sit people.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I think at some point they will have to.
I don't think. I remember the Colts doing that and didn't work out. I don't think
Sirianni will rest the starters. He runs quarterback sneaks up by fucking 12 with a minute left in the game.
No, if they got a chance for a perfect season, they'll go for it.
Yeah, go for that shit.
And first 17-0 team.
When folks don't believe anything Pete tells you on this, he thinks they're going to go perfect, undefeated.
I've never said that.
He's never going to say it out loud, but he thinks it.
He tells it to us when we're not on camera.
I think it as well. I think they're going undefeated in the regular season.
Let's go. Chargers beating the Falcons 20-17
at the very end.
Falcons with the double fumble.
The Falcons did.
Exactly.
I know, as the Chargers were charging it, but the Falcons said, You
That dude-
shall not.
You
Our
shall not
powers are
pass.
stronger than yours.
Yeah.
Yes, you have never seen what the Falcons can do to fuck up a game.
Yeah.
Oh,
you've
for
never
sure.
you've never heard somebody scream no louder in your life. God, when that happened.
Right?
Oh, what do you
What are you?
Dude,
How do you
man.
fumble
Oh.
without even getting touched?
What other Chargers
he's
game did this
carrying the
happen?
ball like he's trying to cradle a baby to sleep. Like
Dude,
Yeah, enough. That one just makes me madder the more I think about it.
Yeah. Next game, Dolphins beating the Bears 35-32.
the Bears looked like a real offense today.
They did.
Yeah.
That was a game. That was
Yeah.
going back.
That was a really good game.
I
Yeah.
wish the Bears would have won it.
Tyreek and Waddle are on historic pace.
Look, guys, the Bears offense may have actually done a little better because the Dolphins needed a special teams touchdown to win that game. They got a punt return or not a blocked punt that they took in for a TD. Otherwise, the Bears probably win that game.
So, yeah. Let's go to the next game. Bengals destroying the Panthers 42-21. Not that that's anything crazy because it's
Baker's
the
back. All right, next.
Did you see real quick? Did you see that they had him in practice? He was playing as the scout defensive end.
Oh God.
Wow.
The disrespect.
Let's at least give Joe Mixon a shout out.
That's a
5 fucking touchdowns. 5 touchdowns and
against the Panthers.
153 yards on 22 carries. Well, one of those TDs was in the air, I'm pretty sure, right? Because he had another 50
against the Panthers.
Monster of a day.
So for those who had him in fantasy,
That's
against
the
the
only reason
Panthers.
Sam's bringing this up.
yeah, well,
hey, 7 other teams play the Panthers.
It was against the
Get that shit.
Panthers.
I don't give a shit.
I know.
No, that was a day. That was a day.
It was a day.
Sometimes
Still
you
against
have
the
a dude
Panthers.
go off for 51 in fantasy for you, and you're pretty happy. So
Let's go. Packers losing to the Lions 15-9. Rodgers is he done?
5 straight losses. I mean, I was watching the Grossi Pat cast, and they were calling for it. Packers fans are calling for Jordan Love,
Including was it
they were
Lil Wayne?
they were, but it's not gonna fix anything on that team.
No, but
I
they
don't
were
care.
just, I mean, he had 3 interceptions in the end zone today. Only 2 of them were while they were in the red zone. One of them they were at like the 23. But yeah, I mean
That's close enough.
Yeah, I
One
think the
bounced
pick
off
was
the
at the
dude's
2.
helmet, so it wasn't really his fault, but also it kind of was because you threw it at the dude's helmet.
Yeah, and it was a pass intended for what, Bakhtiari?
No, that one was even uglier. The one intended for Bakhtiari was open. He gets it to Bach. Bach could catch that. I don't know how good Bach is at catching, but if he gets it to him, he does. He just, instead of like a nice little touch pass that airs over that you always see Aaron Rodgers makes. No, he shorts it and one of the defensive ends just goes up and grabs it, or the one of the linemen.
I'm telling you, like
bad game.
Pat McAfee appearances are on a fucking clock. Like
you only scored 9 points on the worst defense in the league. Not even close to the Lions are statistically worse in just about every goddamn category there is defensively. I mean, they give up like 32 points a week, 31, 32, something like that a game. So, and you put up 9.
I don't know.
How about Colts losing to the Pats 26-3?
They play the Cowboys next week.
Oh, yeah. 9 sacks. Shout out for the Pats defense. 9
Rodgers
sacks
gonna
and
die.
a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
Today.
Which was just done, yeah.
But
Okay, yeah.
The Colts are inept. They're obviously tanking. So
They need a QB. Next, we had Bills losing to the Jets 20-17.
Jets.
What a game.
Jets.
We had the sky cam snapping.
Good God.
And delaying the game for 12 minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
That was insane.
That was wild.
What are we?
I had to just take it down. Sauce Gardner got a little saucy with him.
Making plays, man. Another big pick for him.
Garrett Wilson had a nice day today for him.
And
James Robinson.
Zach Wilson didn't look bad either. Like They were a competent team. They played or a competent offense. Sorry, obviously they're a competent team. They're a competent offense that didn't look like trash the entire time. Which I didn't think they could do without Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bills' lack of ability to run the ball and having zero intention to do so is starting to catch up with them a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is the time of year when
they're not the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, but they were though. Like they were not. It's not like they've run the ball the past 3 years. Like they've been just Josh Allen, and that's been winning them games. But they don't this week.
No.
Next we had Vikings beating the Commies 20-17, 7-1 Vikings.
Kirk Cousins brought him back from a double-digit fourth quarter deficit, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like the Vikings being like a Kirk Cousins Vikings team being good? Like, doesn't that feel like a sign of the apocalypse?
Raiders losing to the Jags 27-20.
Man,
I lied. We're not going to talk about it, but I mean, it's there.
I mean, the Raiders made the Jaguars look like a competent offense today.
Yeah, and the Raiders, that is.
Hey, I'll give credit. I saw a little bit of that game, and Trevor Lawrence was throwing the ball really well.
He did have some good throws, from what I saw.
He was accurate on the money.
But man, I didn't think last week was very embarrassing for the Raiders, 24-0. This week might be almost a little more embarrassing because you lost to the Jags and made the Jags look good.
And
blew a 17-0 lead.
17-0
and blew a 17-0 lead.
In the process.
Again,
like
the last 3 weeks they've had leads that they've blown.
But this is your third time that you.
It wasn't last.
They did, last. Yeah,
but they had 3 big games this season. Yeah,
they've had 3 games where they've been up by at least 17 points that they've blown the lead.
Yeah.
So that's the Raiders.
The AFC West is they're all playing 3D chess, like they're setting us up for the fall. You don't understand. Like we're still gonna be fourth in this division.
I see.
All the experts said so.
All the experts. It's coming any day now.
Next game, we had Seahawks beating the Cards 31-21.
0-2 since Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seahawks keep rolling. And the Cards keep
the Seahawks though, like the Seahawks just continue to fucking roll. Like, God, they, like I said last week, I think they're one of the scariest teams right now. Not because they're great, but they're definitely in any given Sunday team.
Yeah.
Bucks beating the Rams 16-13.
They snapped the streak of losses for Tom Brady.
Yeah. Which was
disappointing. You guys at the end, in the group chat was just Tom washed done Tom, and then right after that
penalty flag.
Yeah, I know he gets bailed out by his best friends, the Zebras again.
When that drive started though, didn't you kind of feel it though?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got the ball, and you're like, oh yeah, it's happening.
Every time Tom Brady gets the ball with less than 2 minutes and they're down, I always assume they're going to win that game.
All right, let's move off of that. Let's talk about tonight's game. Titans Chiefs 17-20, final overtime. Chiefs picking up that win. God.
This is that meme. Had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Mahomes saying, "Hold my beer."
Actually, it started out us, right? Because we were up 9-0 to start this game. And then it quickly became 14-9. Right, it kind of felt like what team.
It looked like Derrick Henry's going to have a night.
Yeah,
felt like he was going to have a career night.
Yeah,
they were showing us like he already has 6 games in his career with like 200 yards or something like that.
He's leading in rushing yards right now.
It felt like 7 was coming.
Yeah, felt like he was about to get that, and then we just shut him down in the second half.
Yeah,
and so he did all of his work in the first half.
I think he had like 20 yards in the second half. So
yeah, it's
big props to the D line on that and
the adjustments they made.
Yeah, I mean they inserted Kalen Saunders. Kalen Saunders played a lot more in the second half.
Yeah, plugged up the bigger run stopper.
Yeah, the Kalen Saunders adjustment was huge.
That was huge.
Like, that changed everything.
That helped Leo Chanel too because he wasn't getting a full head of steam before getting to the second level of your defense.
Yeah, the second half, I don't think they had a carry longer than 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah. Offense
Yeah,
did not inspire me today.
No.
Didn't look great. Juju and Kelsey. I mean, you sit there and you're like, you ran over like about 100 plays and you scored 20 points.
Yeah,
I mean,
we missed a field goal.
missed a field goal, missed an extra point, all that.
Although the extra point we made up with the 2 points, so we really just kind of missed.
Even with that field goal, I mean, you still scored 20 points in that game.
Well, that tonight
because you don't go to overtime.
That was all about the offensive line.
Offensive line did not play well today.
They were terrible.
Also, I will say the secondary of the Titans played an outstanding game. Their secondary was.
They did.
They played well.
Kelsey pretty well.
There was quite a few plays where you would look at and you would say there was coverage sacks on those, and there was coverage, just mental errors of him holding the ball a little longer than typical.
Yeah,
yeah,
and getting an illegal guy downfield.
Yeah.
So
yeah, everything for coming off a bye week, everything felt real sloppy.
Yeah, it felt like you had 2 weeks to prepare for this team, and you weren't very prepared for this team.
Yeah, this felt like a Thursday night game.
It did. It really did.
Not an Andy Reid bye week game.
No.
No. So Andy's so money off a bye week, which I guess continues to be, but a lot scarier.
No.
Yeah,
but hey, they got to win.
Once again, Andrew Wiley is proving he needs to be shot into the
help. He needs some help.
Like I said, Pluto or bust. Get him as far away as possible.
He does okay. He's serviceable, but he's not what we're used to seeing there.
No.
He's just like, if you throw any kind of wrinkle at him, it's like yeah. It's like his eyes go crossed and he fucking falls down.
He reaches immediately, so
man,
but I can't put it all at his feet tonight. Like even Creed Humphrey got beat real bad.
He did. I know, man.
Yeah, Titans had a good game plan today.
Yeah.
To attack. They wanted to prove Simmons correct. And to an extent, I think they did. The offensive line didn't look good. So
yeah.
But he still wasn't enough for Mahomes, because Mahomes, when he's got to do it, it's like,
Mahomes took over that game.
Real MVP level performance from Mahomes tonight.
I will not disagree in the slightest with you on that.
The rushing touchdown alone.
Right.
I mean, I'm putting it on my back.
Very reminiscent of the touchdown run against the Titans in the AFC Championship game, right?
Yeah. He had a couple plays that really reminded me of that. The 3rd and 17, I want to say it was. That he took off ran.
Or even 20, something like that, man. Yeah, he ran.
Yeah, he just ran right down the middle, and he made those little moves, and I was like, I remember the good times.
Yeah.
Well, and you saw anytime the tackle, like especially Wiley, was able to hold his block and let Mahomes get out of the pocket, he was money.
Yes.
But too often they were just blowing right by him.
No.
And Mahomes was in danger immediately.
Felt like Kelsey had an off day, even though he still had 10 catches for 106 yards.
Kelsey had some kind of key drops.
I think that's what it was. He had only 10 catches on his 17 targets. And he had the one drop the tip pass that went for the interception.
Oh yeah, that was
the drop.
That was the worst of
5 seconds remaining.
The Ty Hill special.
Yeah, dropping that. Yeah. So, and Travis is going to be beating himself up over a lot of this, even though it looks good on the record books, but it feels like Juju had a better game, even though he had the same amount of catches
and
less yards. He had 10 catches for 88 yards, but that's on 12 targets.
His catches were all huge too.
They were, yeah. Juju
it felt like they were second longs to set up a 3rd and short, or they'd be on 3rd down to pick up a 1st.
Why didn't we did Juju not want the contract that we offered MVS?
I think he wanted a prove it type year, because I think that he wants.
He's kind of proven it right now.
I mean, the
last
pay that man.
I think you decline MVS's option and you sign Juju with that money,
right there,
and give him more. Give him more than what you were going to give MVS, because
whatever it takes to keep Juju here.
Please keep Juju.
That dude is money.
Hold on now. He's had like 3 good weeks in a row. Let's
keep him and Hardman at this point, because Hardman the last 3 weeks has
also looked good. Yeah, he looked good today too.
Yes.
He didn't look bad at all.
So yeah, we could talk about the Chiefs all night.
We could.
We're not gonna,
can we? Okay. So let's talk picks real quick. So P added 3, he's at 38. I added 3, I'm at 31. Sam added 4, he's at 29. And Jason added 4, he's at 36.
Hey, man.
Closing
I
the
did
gap.
already.
We did pick the Ravens and Saints game. So
Yep.
Sam and Jason have an opportunity to add another point and take their total to 5.
Dude,
If
Did I
the
pick the
Saints
Saints?
win, yes. If the
Yeah.
Saints win, but if the Ravens win, we have a 4-way tie for the first time this season. At
Oh,
where we all
yeah.
get 4 right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel
But
really
I swear
stupid
to
for having
God.
picked the Saints right now.
So, but hey,
Do what?
let's pick some new games.
Let's do some games. So let's go Vikings at Bills.
Ugh.
Fuck.
Is that a primetime game?
No, I don't believe it is.
Why?
Nah, I didn't. I think the Bills. They're gonna come out real fucking mad.
I
about
think
it.
Bills.
Ugh.
All right. So Broncos at Titans.
Titans.
The Titans.
Browns at Dolphins.
Browns at Dolphins. What are these games? The Dolphins.
This is the slate next week.
Saints at Steelers.
Ooh.
Man, it's tough without seeing tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going Saints.
I feel like I should pick tie, but
Okay.
I go
Colts.
Saints.
Colts at Raiders. Every time I've taken the fucking Raiders, they fucking lose.
Take them again.
But I'm taking them again. Cardinals at Rams.
I'm gonna call it first. The Call of Duty curse ends here. Cardinals beat the Rams.
Last game.
Yeah, last
Chargers
game.
at Niners. I'll take Niners. Yeah.
Niners.
There we go.
With our picks locked in, I think that'll do it for this week, boys.
Yeah, as
This
always,
is-
thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit
All
that
right.
Sam bell.
Thank you guys. All right.
Yeah,
okay,
Sammy
you
Bell.
did it.
Sammy Bell.
I need to buy a bell so I can ring it.
So are we gonna do like a secret Santa? Just all buy each other a Chinese jersey?